Traffic study in Infraworks is one of the most important features added in Infraworks. In order to understand the features of traffic study in Infraworks, first we need to remember the traffic terminology and the main terminology of study. Okay, let's go for the basics of traffic simulation. What is the terminology and what is the meaning of traffic study? First, I'll go for the traffic analysis report. Each day we have a lot of trips moving from one destination to the other. Say this is our destination by the bold line, moving from home to office by our dead, and the second one moving by dotted, moving from home to school and come back for our mom. Okay, so all of the day we have a lot of trips go and back on the same direction or by another direction. So even if you're dead, come for the house and from the office to the pharmacy and from the pharmacy to the soccer practice game and then go for home. So he didn't come back from the same road, but he took another route. So the idea of traffic analysis to facilitate the route to accommodate the traffic and demand at this area. What is the meaning of intersection? Intersection is an area shared by two or more routes. The main function is to allow the change of route direction. It is an area description or decision for all drivers and thus required additional effort and is more complicated area for drivers. Intersection normally perform at level below those of the rest of the street or highway. Okay. An intersection is an area shared by two or more routes. Main function is to allow the change of route direction. This area called function area of the intersection, and there are many different of intersection we have discussed before. The purpose of traffic control is to assign the right of way required for the drivers and thus to facilitate the highway safety by ensuring the order and predict of the movement for the traffic. Okay, so we have many different features to control our traffic. The first one is based on the fulfill need and common attention, convey a clear simple meaning, command the respect of road user and give adequate time for proper response. This is the main control for the traffic. The main elements for each intersection, so we can make traffic control for any intersection. The main element is the main road, major street and minor street, auxiliary lanes like this, right turn or turning roads, divisional island in the middle, and channelizing island on the corners, okay, and pavement corner radius, this one, and pavement edge corner, this one, and some conflict point between each direction. So this is the main elements for intersection. Don't forget the angle of intersection is one of the most critical element controlling the level of surface for the intersection. So what is the most regular signs? Each where you see sign, stop sign, yield sign, don't enter, and so on. Let's go one by one to understand the main items for the traffic. Here is some figures showing some signs, but our drivers just see the sign without following the instruction. So here is no entry, stop, wait, don't enter, and so on, and he's still driving. So what is the main types of intersection as the control, as the point of view for control? The first type of control is yield sign. At this case, drivers on approach with yield sign are required to slow down and yield the right-of-way to the conflicting vehicles at the intersection. If we want to check example for the yield line, this is our yield line. So if you are going to join this road, you must wait until this road or this vehicle is passed. Until this vehicle is passed, so you can join or continue your journey. Okay, this is the meaning of yield line. Okay, what is the meaning of stop sign? Stop sign is approaching vehicle are required to stop before entering the intersection. Here is our stop sign. Before entering, you must stop here. This is your instruction. Okay. Intersection channelization. It's used to separate turn lane from through lanes, and it can control the traffic in one direction, like this one. This is the channelization island, and used to separate the traffic from here to here for the turning. Traffic signals are used to assign the use of intersection to different traffic streams at different times and to eliminate many conflicts. Okay, what is the meaning of intersection conflicts? This is the conflict point for four-leg intersection. We have this symbol and this symbol and this one. Okay, this one for the merging, for the point of merging. So at this location we are going to merge between the left turn at this location and right turn from this direction. They will merge at this point. So this is merging point. And what is the meaning of diverge? Diverge means separate. So at this location I'm going to turn right, but you are going to turn left, so we will be separate. So at this location it will be diverge. So what is the meaning of crossing? Crossing means I'm going in this direction, but you are going on this direction, so we will meet at this location. This location is crossing. So this is the main conflict point for four-leg intersection. Okay, let's describe the types of intersection control. The primary objective of traffic control system is to reduce the number of conflict points which we discussed before. The choice of one method for traffic control is depend on many factors, like the volume of traffic, turning movement, pedestrian volume at this location, if there is any school at this area, accident expected, delay of traffic, and other consideration. So what is the main facing for each intersection? There are many different of facing for intersection, starting with 2 phases, 3 phases, and 4 phases. Okay, 2 phases mean 2 movement in same time. So I have one movement in this direction and one movement in this direction, and the other one here and here. So I have this phase 1 and I have phase 2. At this direction I can make right turn, left turn, and so on. So in this case I can make phase 1 and the other one will be phase 2. Okay, for the case of 3 phases it's divided for phase 1, 1, 2, 3 direction, phase 2, 1, 2, 3 direction, and combined phase for phase 3. This is the case of 3 phases. For phase 1, you have the option to go this one and this one and straight, okay, and also you can go here, here, here. This for phase 1, starting with green, yellow, red. Your interval for the green mean the time of each phase. So for the time of green for this one, if green is working, so phase 1 or phase A will start up to finish, then go for yellow and directly for red. For the red, it will be the start for this movement for this direction and for this direction. So phase 1 plus phase B, phase A plus phase B give you 2 phases operation. Okay, what is the mean of single phase in case of 4 phases? Okay, we have 4 phases. This is phase 1 or phase A, B, C, D. Phase A, B, C, D, E. This is for 5 phases. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5 phases. Here we need to understand only the main phases of each intersection. Just introduction to understand how can we deal with the demand and traffic control inside the Infraworks. After defining the directions of each intersection based on the turning and based on the phases, we are going to deal with one term called lane group. Lane group is consist of one or more lanes on the intersection approach having the same grain phase. Movement made by simultaneous exclusive turn lane are treated as a separate lane group. Judgment used for shared lanes. So if we combine movement by lanes, left turn plus through plus right turn, it will be straight, turn left, turn right. Excluded the left turn or right turn plus through, and in case of 2 lane, left turn plus through, right turn plus through. In case of 3 lanes, I'll go separate left turn, right turn with through, and 1 through. So this is the expected movement for number of lanes for each intersection. Say if you have 1 lane, so 1 lane controls 3 movement in 1 direction. If you have 2 lane, so in this direction you can go 1 separate for left and 1 for straight plus right. But if you have 3 lane, 1, 2, 3, you can go 1 left separate and 1 straight and 1 straight plus right. Okay? So after determining the lane group for analysis, we will go for the determine critical lane groups at intersection. What is the mean of critical lane group? The critical lane group or the lane group is required the longest green time in the phase. The critical lane group determine the required green time for each phase. So this used to determine the time of green color that allocated to that phase. In order to calculate this critical lane group, we can divide the maximum value of the ratio for approach flow to the saturation flow. S is the saturation flow, vehicle per hour, and Q is the peak hour volume, vehicle per hour. If you divided this one by this one, it will give you the Y, which is the critical lane group. Okay, what is the peak hour factor? Actually, it's used to measure the variable of demand during the peak hour and is equal to the ratio of volume during peak hour divided by the maximum rate of flow during the given period. The given period for this our smallest time is 15%. So for this calculation, we can calculate the peak hour factor for this time. What is the cycle length? Cycle length is made up of individual phases. It's including the time of green plus the yellow plus the red. The combination of green, yellow, red, it's called as cycle length. Okay, what is the interval? Interval is any part of the cycle length during the signal indicates don't change. Okay, let's move for the motor vehicle capacity. What is the vehicle capacity for this intersection and what is the difference between the intersection capacity and the level of surface? For the unsignalized intersection, motor-sized vehicle capacity is governed by the ability of motor vehicles on the minor street under stop control or yield, okay, to respect the major traffic of the major road. Okay, so it's the ability to respect the major road without disturbing the traffic. Respect the traffic from major road, and this car are waiting without disturbing the level of surface for this intersection. In case of signalized intersection, motor vehicle capacity is governed by the number of lanes approaching the intersection, the number of receiving lanes, and the amount of green signals time given to the approach. Okay, if you want to calculate the measure of intersection capacity, there are one term called critical lane volume. By critical lane volume, we can calculate the capacity of each intersection based on the flow condition. So in case of flow condition, free flow, ABC level of service, and case of approaching capacity, ENF, and prevailing level of peak, and it will be D. In this case, in two phases, so the vehicle per hour will be less than 1200, and in this case it will be 1200 up to 1350 and so on. So we can determine the CLV for vehicle per hour based on the level of surface and the flow condition. This is for 3-phase and 4 phases. Okay. For the level of service is one measure of user satisfaction with the intersection. Are the user are satisfied by this intersection or they are wasting time of waiting at this intersection? So based on this categorization, level of service A, B, C, D, E, as we described in this previous section, for free flow it will be ABC, for the prevailing level of peak it will be D, and approaching E and F. So based on this flow type and the type of intersection, signalized, unsignalized, and roundabout, you can go and get the value for waiting or delaying time. This delaying time is the acceptable delaying time for the satisfied customers. So say if we are working in level of service D, and in this case your intersection is unsignalized, so the wait time is 25 up to 35. If the time is located at this area, it will be acceptable. More than this area, it will be not desired.